In this video, I'm going to be comparing the Fox IFP 2.0 shock against the Fox Reservoir shock. This shock has a custom tune from AccuTune suspension, so we're going to compare this versus the IFP to see which performs better in a vibration test. Let's get into it. In order to effectively quantify the difference that the custom tune shocks made, I downloaded a vibrometer app on my phone and tested the IFP shocks and the Reservoir shocks on the same three scenarios. I ran both sets of shocks over a water bar at 10 and 20 miles per hour. Then we drove on a 45 mile an hour section of road and a 65 mile an hour section of road. The installation process for the Reservoir shocks is very similar to just swapping out regular shocks. The only difference is you do have to drill a tap in to mount the Reservoir on your shock bucket for the fronts. The rear shocks already come with a clamp, so you actually are mounting the Reservoir to the shock body itself. In an effort to keep the testing conditions as consistent as possible, I inflated my tires to 50 psi cold, but obviously I'm not able to hit the exact same pothole the exact same way, and we had some variance in weather conditions. So in this test, we measured both the average acceleration and the maximum acceleration felt in the cab of the truck. Okay, let's break down what we got in the 10 mile per hour water bar test. So on the top, you're seeing the Fox IFP at 10 miles an hour, and the acceleration, both the average and max, that was experienced by the vibrometer mounted to my dashboard inside the cab. What you're seeing on the bottom is the Fox RS with the custom tune from AccuTune at 10 miles an hour. Both, again, average acceleration and max acceleration in meters per second squared. For this water bar test, because the impact is so pronounced, I'm really focusing on the max acceleration. But as you can see, both the average and the maximum acceleration experienced by the cab of the truck was reduced. Max is really crazy because only at 10 miles an hour, we were able to reduce the acceleration of the cab by 0.4 meters per second squared. Let's do the water bar test at 20 miles per hour and see how much better the custom tune shocks did. All right, so same setup as the last scenario, Fox IFP on the top at 20 miles per hour, average and max acceleration, Fox RS with the custom tune at 20 miles per hour on the bottom with both average and maximum acceleration, and wow, 1.4 meters per second squared reduction in acceleration in the cab at 20 miles per hour. And I will say this is consistent with the experience that I've had with these custom tune shocks. The harder you push them, the better they respond. So let's jump over to some on-road driving, and we're going to take a look and see how these perform at both 45 miles an hour and 65 miles per hour. All right, so we have a section coming up that is it's about a 45 mile an hour speed limit, and we're going to hit it right about now. And there's just a lot of these cracks going across the road, and so we're yeah, it's not smooth. So this is kind of a medium speed. We are going to get to a section on I-76 that's more high speed, but this is kind of our like second testing category, if you will. It's the, you know, everyday driving that you would do. Ooh, that U-joint sounds real good. Look at the reduction in maximum acceleration. That is crazy at 45 miles an hour. You also are seeing a reduction in the average acceleration experienced in the cab. Now, obviously we were driving down a section of road. I can't hit the same line the exact same every single time. So there's gonna be a margin of error here, especially with that maximum acceleration. But I still think it's really impressive that these shocks were able to make that much of an improvement over a strip of road driving at 45 miles per hour. And again, you add weight to that, whether you're towing or you're hauling something in your bed, and the difference is going to be huge. Here are the results from the 65 mile an hour test. Fox IFP on the top and Fox RS with the custom tune on the bottom. And again, we're seeing almost a 1 meter per second reduction in maximum acceleration with the custom tuned shocks. My personal experience in the cab driving with this suspension, it was the most noticeable the faster you drove and the harder you hit potholes or expansion joints. And really, when I was working on the tune with AccuTune, that like high-speed driving, big impacts was kind of what I was trying to fix. I wanted to get more control back. I wanted to eliminate that lurch, and they accomplished that with this tune. It is remarkable, the improvement in control, the smoothness of handling with these shocks. Like it's really incredible. And what you're seeing with the decrease in max acceleration is actually a tune where they increased the compression damping. So they actually made it so that the shaft speed on the Fox RS reacted and pushed against the force that was being applied to it more so than the Fox IFP did. And that is ultimately going to result in a smoother and more controlled driving experience for this heavy-duty vehicle. Okay, so based on the test results, it's a pretty clear win in favor of the custom-tuned Reservoir shocks. And at this point, you're probably wondering, exactly what does custom-tuned mean? What you're seeing here in these videos is actually AccuTune Shop, where they adjust the shim stack to control the oil flow in these shocks based on the inputs that you give them. So that's your axle weight and then whatever tune you want. So essentially what shims are is a way to control the oil flow in the damper inside the shock body. And so what they're doing is adjusting that shim stack so that the oil flows differently based on what your needs are. The Fox IFP shocks I had on before also have a shim stack, but that is a one-size-fits-all that Fox puts in at the factory for the Super Duty. It doesn't take into account your driving habits, and it doesn't take into account the actual weight of the vehicle. If you're interested in learning more about how suspension works or how AccuTune does their suspension service, I would encourage you to check out their website. They have a bunch of great tech articles. They also have their own YouTube channel where they put up a lot of really good educational videos, information videos. So I will put a link to both their website and their YouTube channel in the description below. Please check them out if you're interested. Okay, we finished the test. What did we learn? The biggest thing, and this is what surprised me the most, is the difference the custom-tuned Reservoir shocks made in the side-to-side rocking motion that you get from the sway bar on these heavy-duty trucks. So I'm talking about if you're going over an expansion joint or a water bar and you're turning across it so that one tire changes level faster than the other. Normally, what would happen, even with the Fox IFPs, is I would be whipped around and you feel like your head's gonna hit the glass. With the Reservoir shocks, that side-to-side crazy rocking motion is virtually eliminated. That was what really blew my brother and I away.
This is the fun one. It's like a, I don't even know. It's like a sideways speed bump.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Wow.
Good. That was actually done.
That was crazy. You remember yesterday we were like,
got tossed all over the place.
oh my word.
That's good.
That's real good.
The second thing I learned was that the Reservoir shocks really shine when you're putting a lot more force against the suspension, meaning the faster I went over that water bar, the more composed the Reservoir shocks felt. Meaning when I really went over the water bar at 20 miles an hour with the IFP shocks, they would cycle a few more times before they leveled the truck out. And I also felt like they went deeper into the travel. The Reservoir shocks felt bottomless. Like there wasn't as much of a harsh hit feeling. And then when the shocks compressed, it was much more controlled. Now, what all of this means is that when you're driving fast on the highway, which is like 90% of the driving that I do in this truck, whether towing a load or running empty, you know, you're gonna hit G-outs, you're gonna hit potholes, you're gonna hit expansion joints, and that is the weak point of these heavy duty trucks. And the Reservoir shocks with the custom tune based on my front and rear axle weight virtually eliminated that concern. It's honestly remarkable. I'm blown away. And it gives you the confidence to feel like you can drive into something, you know, speed bump, pothole, whatever, and you're not going to feel like you're losing control of the vehicle. This gets me really excited because I didn't take the shocks off-road. You know, we drove on a dirt road that was covered with snow because all the wheeling trails are covered in snow right now. So I'm really excited for the spring where I can take this thing out and really smash it on some, you know, some off-road trails. And honestly, I have to recommend AccuTune's service. You know, we were collaborating on this video, but their customer service and the support they provide to clients is tremendous. I mean, you can go check their Google reviews. They really care about helping you find the right suspension for your truck. They don't just want to give you something that's a one-size-fits-all. And everyone I've worked with over there has been awesome, super helpful. They're very passionate about what they do. So definitely check them out if you are in the market to buy new suspension. I'd say especially if you're looking to keep your vehicle for the long term like I am. You know, I'm trying to put as many miles on this truck as I can. I want something that's serviceable and I will be able to keep on my truck long into the future. Thank you so much for watching. This is Power Stroke Maintenance and we'll see you next time. Cheers.